The Clever Boy. Once upon a time, there was a wise king who wanted to find talented men to help him with the governance of his kingdom. He sent a minister to search everywhere. One day, the minister passed a field and saw a father and his son working on the field. He stopped his horse and asked, "Hey, old man, how many furrows a day can your buffalo plow?" Before the father could answer, his son, about 7 or 8 years old, asked the minister in return, "If you tell me how many steps a day your horse can take, I will tell you how many furrows a day my father's buffalo can plow." The official was extremely surprised. He thought to himself that this child must be a person of great talent and immediately rode his horse back to report to the king. To test the boy's talent, the king ordered that his village be given 3 baskets of glutinous rice and 3 male buffaloes, with the command to raise these 3 buffaloes until they bore a total of 9 offspring. He set a deadline for the full quantity to be delivered next year. If they failed, the entire village would be punished. Upon hearing the king's command, the whole village was extremely worried. When the news reached the boy, he said to his father, "It's rare to receive such a gift from the king. Please tell the villagers to slaughter 2 of the buffaloes and cook 2 baskets of glutinous rice for everyone to have a feast. For the remaining buffalo and basket of rice, ask the village to provide them as travel expenses for us to go on a journey to the palace to solve this problem." Hearing the father's explanation, the village was still skeptical and required him and his son to sign a pledge before they dared to slaughter the buffaloes for the feast. Then, the father and son packed their bags and set off for the capital. Upon arriving at the royal palace, the child told his father to wait outside while he took advantage of the distracted guards to sneak into the courtyard, where he burst into tears. The king ordered the guards to bring the child in and asked, "Why are you crying, little one?" "Your Majesty, my mother long passed away, but my father refuses to give birth to a baby so that I can have a sibling to play with. That's why I'm crying." The king chuckled, "To get a sibling for you, your father would need to find another wife. As he's a male himself, how could he possibly give birth?" The child suddenly brightened. "Then why did our village receive the order to raise 3 male buffalo until they had 9 offspring to present to the king?" The king and his courtiers acknowledged the child's intelligence and cleverness. However, the king wanted to test him once more, so he had a messenger bring in a sparrow and ordered that it be made into 3 meals. The child handed the messenger a needle and said, "Take this needle back to the king's majesty and have him forge it into a knife for me to carve the bird." The king then summoned the father and son, rewarding them generously. At that time, the neighboring country was quietly intending to invade our land. To assess the talents of the Vietnamese people, they sent an envoy with a very long, hollow shell, open at both ends, and requested that a single strand of thread be threaded through the shell. The king and his courtiers racked their brains trying to find a solution, but nothing came up. The king then sent for the child. The child sang out, "Daddle diddle, diddle daddle. Catch the ant, tie it across the back. One side carries paper to block. One side smears grease, ant rejoices and comes." Everyone followed the child's instruction. Indeed, the ant had successfully threaded the thread through the shell, impressing the envoy from the neighboring country. The king appointed the child as the first doctoral candidate and granted him a mansion next to the royal palace for convenient consultation on state affairs.